I watched Cole Sprouse.
I did as well.
On YouTube talk to Diary of a CEO. One, the guy is sharp, remarkably sharp. And I was like, how did he get this? Because he talks about having a narcissistic mom who put him in showbiz at the age of 8 months and, and all of the issues that created.
Who is Cole Sprouse?
He's the guy from my generation from Big Daddy. He was the little kid Julian in Big Daddy. From your generation, he was on a Nickelodeon show or something.
Yeah, and he's a twin.
And he's a twin, which is why he was allowed to be in this, because you can get more hours out of twins because there's child labor laws that say each child can only work so many hours a day, so you can do more filming.
So if in the 90s, there was a bunch of twins in movies, which now makes the whole magic of Hollywood seem a little bit dirty. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, again, it was a well-intended thing, which is you want a kid in a movie. We'd like to have a movie that doesn't just have people over the age of 18, and you can only work so many hours, and that's, whatever the Olsen twins and the this twins and the that twins, and they play a single person.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to figure out, I was like, why did this guy get it? He did some therapy, but he also describes having, how his dad, eventually he wound up with his dad. And it seems like the value of, of course, having two great parents is great, but the delta between no good parents and one good parent is incredible. I don't know what else to attribute it to based on having listened to him talk, but, he's had some opportunities to go to therapy. He's done some other things, but he seems like he's got his head very well screwed on his shoulders, given what he also describes as the narcissism of his mother to put him in these situations, and the churning out of child actors, and the not physical, but emotional tumult and confusion, and you're the breadwinner for your family, and we need you to do this, and the theft of your childhood from you. To come out the way that he has, I'm like, I guess and I've seen this, having one good parent, having one person who can model empathy, care, being with you is incredible. And I think that's a Gabor Mate quote as well, which is like, what separates a difficult experience from lifelong trauma is one adult in the room, just one adult who can be with you through the experience, or the reliving or the recounting of it. But really interesting interview. Highly recommend it.
And so that relates to the previous story, because he seems like he had that in his father, and you're wondering about the girl in the human trafficking story, if she could have had one, or
not that I wonder about her, but it's just it's remarkable, because I know of people in similar situations where they don't have one. And the depth of confusion that they struggle with is
immense.
It's not like he has half of theirs. It's infinitely more confusion that these other people have. And it seems trite to say. I watched a guy, but I think he's right. His name is Danny Morell on Instagram. He says that to children, their mother and father are the masculine and feminine representation of God in the world. Mm-hmm. And so if you at least have God kind of on your side, it means a lot in the universe. But if God never shows up for you, and what I mean by that is not to say that you need a Christian God, but what I mean by that is that this life, this experience loves you and cares for you and want what's good for you and is not against you in an attempt to break, abuse, and use you for its own benefit, your life is going to be radically different than someone who doesn't feel that feels that this that they are here to be used, abused, taken advantage of.
Exactly. God's love comes through
using
and
you,
trading, in another way.
And the best case outcome, if you don't do therapy, is you find a way for the universe to use you, and you exchange money for love for the rest of your life. Or there are degrees of healthiness that are on that scale if you didn't have the parents. And I'm not saying that you're doomed forever. But yeah, it's like such an advantage to have good parents.
And it's important to recognize your operating system as like that. If these are your gods, like look back at what your patron saints taught you.
Well, this is, and I think,
which is personally what I've been doing as well.
Yeah. I don't want to, like we talked a little bit about women versus men with J.K. Rowling, but the privileges that people have, people will talk about skin color or whether you're straight or gay or whether you're this. And I don't think any of them boil down to the internal experience you have of life, the general quality that you see it as. So I don't want to externalize it. But if I did have to, it seems like broadly the love of mom and dad in a way that is lower on the narcissistic scale, lower on the emotionally abusive scale, higher on the amount of space that you are given to experience the full gamut of human emotions without being threatened with being a pariah from the family if you get angry or sad or hurt or whatever. That is one of the biggest privileges that people can have, along with, like, once you've got your material goods taken care of, food, water, shelter, and health, that would be the next one that I would put on the list of foundationally important to feeling good in your life.
And it's really hard to quantify.
Yes.
So people go, you're a guy.
Yeah, and guess what? You didn't get to write that on your resume. You don't get to, there's no special programs to make sure that we have 50%
Mom
of
and dad
CEOs
were really abundant in their experience
Yeah.
of emotions while I was growing up. I'm going to be a great employee here.
Yeah. And anyways, well, not just that we don't have a higher degree of tolerance and assistance for people that didn't get that, but we do have higher degrees of tolerance and assistance, for in our sister's workplace. If you're a woman, you get to take special confidence training that men are not invited to, which is like, what about the people that are orphans? What about the male orphan who is, who needs confidence? No, he doesn't get to come, because it's the general ways that we are splitting groups today, I do not think are the best ones to do it by.